In this video, we are going to dive into everything you need to know about the upcoming game Starfield. This will be a highly detailed video, so make sure you grab something to enjoy while you're listening or watching. There should be chapters for any of you guys that want to know certain details and can skip through the video if you guys would like to. Make sure to like and subscribe. We are on the road to 2K, so it would mean so much to me if we could reach that soon. Well, let's dive right into the video. And let's start off with the overview for Starfield. Starfield is the first new universe from Bethesda in over 25 years, but it still remains a Bethesda RPG. You step into a new world and have a feeling of new world with fresh possibilities. However, instead of exploring one world, you have 1,000. You get to choose where you go, and modern technology, Bethesda can now realistically simulate the worlds around you, moons orbit the planets, and with the use of real-time global illumination, they can light the world depending on the type of star and the planet's atmosphere. Bethesda utilizes an all-new animation system, and you'll be glad to know that you can choose to play it in first person or third person. The exploration system is different from what you would normally expect from their games. You explore the area you land in, collect resources, do missions, and stumble upon unexpected surprises. Starfield will be releasing to the Xbox Series X and S and PC on September 6, 2023. Now let's move on to the Starfield setting and plot. Now Starfield's setting and overall aesthetic has been described variously as Skyrim in space. Pop culture influences include Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica. From what I've seen, it seems like if you're a fan of the Mass Effect, The Outer Worlds, or Prey, chances are Starfield will also be your jam. The story begins in 2330 in a pocket of the Milky Way called the Settled Systems, an area approximately 50 light years in a diameter around our own solar system that's been at least partially colonized by humans. Around 20 years before the story begins, a bloody civil war occurred between two rival factions called the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective. But at the time the game takes place, the settled systems are once again in an uneasy peacetime. Just the backstory. The main plot opens up with the premise that you, a member of a group calling themselves a humanity's last explorers, will be exploring the galaxy on an epic journey to answer humanity's greatest mystery: what's out there? The trailers contain a lot of philosophical musings on the place of humankind among the stars and the meaning of existence. Beyond that, the exact plot of Starfield isn't very much being kept under wraps. Director Todd Howard has made self-described cryptic hints towards a twist in the tale somewhere. Perhaps the not E3 2023 footage showing your protagonist wielding what looks like an awful lot like space magic powers has something to do with it. We got to take a deep look at the character creator during last year's Not E3, and we learned that the game will visualize changes to your character's appearance using a technique from a molecular biology known as gel electrophoresis, which is a love science white touch. Under the hood, it seems like there's still more or less expected set of character creation sliders, but it's a nice detail all at the same time. You'll also be able to choose from 3 backgrounds from your character, which will determine their starting skills, and you can further flesh out the protagonist with up to 3 optional traits, which can have either positive or negative effects. Negative traits in particular are there to add a bit of a challenge to the game. For example, introverted. Characters will have more trouble navigating social situations, which is something you will have to work around as you play. The ability to craft a unique personality for your character will also unlock some custom responses in dialogue, but it seems there's no significant content locked off according to your choices. A recent interview with several key members of the dev team revealed that the Starfield aims to incorporate old school RPG stats with the sort of greatest hits of skills and leveling systems from Bethesda's previous games. There are 5 skill trees: physical, social, combat, science, and tech. And as you earn XP, you'll gain 1 skill point per character overall achieved, which can be used to either unlock or rank up skills. But in order to do the latter, you'll also need to complete gameplay challenges. In related news, you can build your own spacecraft in Starfield too. You can completely customize the look and layout, internally as well as externally, and even the name of the creation of your ship. There are even a choice of in-universe manufacturers for you to shop around among which buy modules. So even if tweaking nose length sliders for hours at a time isn't your bag, Starfield could well still provide a customization system that's to your liking. Now, lots of people ask this usually when a new and especially a big game like Starfield's about to come out, and how long will it take to complete Starfield? There's no exact details I have yet taken to give the length of Starfield's main plotline, but interviews with the development team contain references to what sound like plenty of side quests and a probability of branching storylines, plus in-depth crafting systems allowing you to customize things like weapons and bases, all of which promises replayability over a long period of time. Todd Howard compares the game to Skyrim of how many fans are still playing that game over a decade later, and suggests that Starfield was built after taking the unexpected longevity of interest into account. If those comparisons to Skyrim hold true, we can reasonably anticipate a 30 to 40 hour main story, 100 plus hours with side quests, and maybe 200 plus hours to explore every nook and cranny to 100% complete. Now, as I mentioned third person in the overview, I'm just going to quickly go over to it again, but we have some good news for motion sickness sufferers. Starfield can indeed be played in third person. There's also going to be a first person option to satisfy the desires of immersion fans, though we don't know yet exactly how switching between the two will work. Still, with many modern RPGs choosing to third-person view altogether and locking their game off to many potential fans who can't stomach the shaky cam, it's refreshing to see Starfield include both options. Plus, this means you will get to see your lovingly customized character in-game whenever you want. Now, I'm sure this is going to just be a trigger select on your controller. That's how usual games have played out to be, especially like Oblivion. You can click your right stick to just actually like go into a third person view if you would like to. Now, moving on, I have made a video for this if you guys want to check out the full length video, but I'm going to go over in this video right now. But does Starfield feature factions and a morality system? It seems like major factions to begin with all the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective. The United Colonies represent an idealized vision of human diaspora branching out into the galaxy united as a republic. Meanwhile, the Freestar Collective are space cowboys, a pioneer group pushing the frontiers of human expansion who clearly aren't so keen on centralization control. Notably, despite obvious parallels with franchises like Star Wars and Firefly, neither of these groups seem to be played up as having been entirely right or wrong in the war, at least from your character's point of view at the start of the game. There's also a third notable faction, Rugin Industries, which represents a corporate interest apparently separate from the two ideological ones. In terms of secondary or minor factions or groups, so far we've heard of Eclectic Mercenaries, Pirates of the Crimson Fleet, Spaces, and House Varon. It's unclear yet exactly which of these you'll be able to join. The only one confirmed as playable so far is the Crimson Fleet, but expect to encounter them all at some point in the story. It seems that after completing the game's introductory missions, your character will be offered a post as a member of exploratory force called Constellation, charged with uncovering the source of the mysterious artifacts that are driving force behind the main plot. But by the sounds of it, shifting your alliances will be the definite possibilities at some point in the story. Companion characters and dialogue trees are also making an appearance. As per Bethesda tradition, although in a new twist, those you recruit to your crew will be back on the ship, buffing you with your unique stats rather than standing by your side as you progress through the story and quests. There's a precision minigame to bring NPCs around to your way of thinking, somewhat akin to Fallout's speech stat checks. But it is apparently an entirely new system developed specifically for Starfield that's meant to emulate real conversation much more naturally. Finally, there will be combat, of course. This will involve both expected FPS style encounters that you see face off against NPC bad guys. It will be familiar enough to Fallout fans, but with a few improvements like the moddable guns and stealth options for those who prefer. Starfield also includes space combat, which requires a bit more explaining. You'll have a variety of options in how you deal with other ships you encounter. Hail them, board them, trade them, attack them. The choice is yours. If you don't do a fight and get into a fight, you'll be doing cool stuff like reassigning power to different ship systems in real time. There will also be abandoned ships you can scavenge, which sounds a bit crazy. Now moving on, this is a really quick thing I like to talk about, but it's something interesting about all these Bethesda games that have released that I've actually had some of them, but will Starfield feature romance options? Is it even a space RPG if you can't romance your companions? Well, there's no need to worry about finding out this time, because yes, you will be able to have romance companions in Starfield. According to a 2022 interview with Todd Howard, Starfield will include more complex relationships with NPCs than Bethesda have previously achieved. These hints were expanded upon during Starfield's Direct 2023, which outright confirmed that you can romance at least some of your companion NPCs, with Space Cowboy Sam shown declaring that he's never really loved anyone except you. Moving on to the next is that will Starfield have difficulty settings? Starfield apparently be a more hardcore RPG than recent Fallout and Elder Scrolls titles, though whether the translate to trickier action sequences or just more maths as you min-max your character's stats remains to be seen. Bethesda have historically included difficulty settings in their single-player RPGs, so we're inclined to think that there will be some ability to scale up or down damage in the game's combat sections to suit your preference. We'll have to wait and find out for sure though, but I think depends exactly what they mean by hardcore. Will Starfield have multiplayer? It's been made very clear from the outset that Starfield will have no multiplayer elements whatsoever. The development focus for Starfield has been solidly on providing a story-rich single-player adventure with plenty of replay value, and while multiplayer modes certainly have their joys, it's refreshing to see a major release not feeling like the need to tack one on where it's simply not necessary for the story that the team have set out to tell. Will Starfield have a DLC? Starfield's Direct in June 2023 finally confirmed that what we all expected, that yes, there will be a DLC for Starfield. At least one of those will be a story base entitled Shattered Space. It will be free to players who have purchased the premium editions of the base of the game, and a paid on edition for those who go on for the standard edition. There's no release window for Shattered Space yet, or indeed any details of what will contain beyond additional story requests. Moving on, will you be able to mod Starfield? Player creator mods have been 100% confirmed to coming into Starfield. Game director Todd Howard has on multiple occasions declared Bethesda Softworks support for mods for calling Starfield a modder's paradise. We don't know, however, if this will be an expansion of Bethesda Creation Club, which let modders upload their work and get paid for the submissions. Post-release, whatever the implementation, you can expect a steady stream of quality of life tweaks, unique items, and even quests to come from the community. Well, that's going to wrap up this video today for everything you need to know so far before the release of Starfield. I really appreciate everyone tuning into this video. I hope you guys have lasted this whole video. Hopefully I've gone through over everything that you guys need to know for this upcoming great game. But thank you guys still so much for the support over the last few weeks for this Starfield game. I'm really looking forward to releasing so much content. I'm actually going to be away just for a few days. I'm going to be here for the release of it, and I'm going to be here just, I think, about 2 days before it actually does release, but there might be a few days where I won't have videos out, so sorry about that. I can't actually do anything about that. But make sure to like and subscribe and comment down. Are you excited for this game? Make sure to share to get this channel out. I'd really appreciate if we can try and get 2,000 subscribers as soon as possible. I may potentially do a giveaway for a Starfield copy. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. But as always, have a good time to your journey of the stars. Peace.